Yo, what up, guys? We are live. I want to do a stream because, as you guys know, for the last week or two, there's been a lot of drama videos on this channel. And while those have been very, very entertaining and fun, and I think a lot of you guys have enjoyed it, I think also a lot of you guys have been getting kind of sick of it, right? It's like, oh, come on, let's get back to the valley. So I want to do a pure live stream where literally all I do for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just answer your questions. I will, if you guys have any questions, interest and transparency, if you still have any questions when it comes to like the whole John thing, I'll answer questions, but I'm not going to dedicate any more streams to it. I'm not going to dedicate any more videos to it. I think I've said my piece. And I think I've shown pretty clearly, granted, I did not have a nice PowerPoint presentation, but with actual things like, receipts and screenshots and videos that, he's kind of full of shit. But anyway, so yeah, we'll leave it at that. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer them, but I want to really focus on getting back value. So we got a lot of big things ahead for this channel. The only exception I will say to this rule that, I'm done talking about this is if John actually decides to sue me. And if that happens, then I'll probably document the whole thing just to show YouTube how much of an idiot he is. But aside from that, yeah, I'm done with the drama. But yeah, anyway, so we're going to get back to doing the value videos, the Q&As that you guys enjoy, answering all your questions. Also, we're going to get back to doing the speed dating. The Coach White Pill speed dating competition is going to be next week, so that should be fun. I've been very relentlessly training my draft picks, so that should be fun. We'll see who does better. That's another thing. And then I'm going to be filming some infield. I took a big break from infield. I haven't filmed infield or really done much cold approach for that matter, besides the occasional here and there for about half a year. But I'm going to get back into filming it as early as next weekend. So Avery is in Miami. We're going to film infield together. I'm also going to film with Eric Ronaldo. So I'm probably going to do another one big bout of infield. Also, we're going to try to make things interesting this time. So I'm going to actually film infield with Natty, both of us going up and trying to pick up girls. I think that should be interesting. I've never seen anyone do that. I'm not saying no one's ever done it. I've just never seen it. So I think that could be fun. How to pick up girls with a girl. So yeah, we're going to fuck around, do a lot of stuff like that. This Monday, Destiny's coming on the podcast. We're going to do another round of speed dating. And what I really want to do is I want to get some of the bigger YouTubers and have them spit their game on the speed dates. So hopefully we can get Abba. I know he's shown some interest in the past, in doing that when I was live streaming with Destiny. Again, I know he's a busy guy, but if we can make that happen, I think that would be a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of value to offer. And really what I would like to do with the speed dates, in addition to giving you guys, feedback and value, also like have some of the bigger YouTubers come on and, take a look at their game. Because there's a lot of guys who, for example, don't, do dating content or don't do pickup shit, who probably have pretty decent game. Like I would venture to say that Abba would do pretty well. Again, I have no way of knowing, but that's just kind of my speculation. But it'd be interesting to see, kind of more of like the natural types of guys and have them demonstrate their game. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of good things ahead. But yeah, let's start off. So we're basically going to do largely Q&A, but I do want to start off with this. This is a situation that happened to me today. And I think this could wind up back for this is something that I've had guys say that they fell for. It's kind of like a scam that's going around now on Instagram and Tinder. And a lot of guys have been crushed by this. So let me kind of show you guys what to watch out for. So let's share my Instagram direct screen. Let's take a look at this. Can you guys see this? All right, let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I get a message today. Hey, Alex, I'm a big fan of your profile, so I think you're cute, so can we talk, right? Now, this seems like very like, ooh, fuck yeah, but let's take a look at her profile, right? One photo, and the photo, is that really real? So when you see Instagrams like that with one or two photos, no followers, now it doesn't automatically mean it's a fake Instagram. Like some people have burner Instagrams, but that should set off some red flags. And what you want to do if a girl hits you up for one of those Instagrams is verify that's actually a real person and not some dude in India. So let's get back to the DMs. Okay. So I'm like, hey, yeah, what's up? You're really Alex? Yep. Sorry to ask. That's because, a lot of people can fake things. I'm like, yep, I know. So what's up, Anna? So I think you're sexy. And since I started videos on YouTube, you made me so wet. Now, of course, there's nothing a YouTuber likes hearing more than hot girls saying that their content makes them wet, right? But, you got to be smart with this shit. I'm like, oh, yeah, which video specifically do you like the most? The one where you teach how to behave on a date and you put that girl on your lap. So she's actually, whoever this person is, has actually researched my content a little bit, right? So yeah, I don't know if this is like a setup or just like a scam, regular scam. But yeah, I'm like, well, yeah, it's a classic. I was imagining myself by your lap, but in a different way. So I sent her this voice recording.
Yeah, that is one way of putting it.
I do gotta be honest, though, I'm a little concerned that you might not be a real profile. I only see one photo and 15 followers. Are you using like an alternative account or something like that? I'm gonna need some kind of proof that you are real. So right away, when you see a profile like this, when a girl is reaching out to you, right, she doesn't really have a real profile. What I do is I'll always say, okay, send me a photo of you holding a white paper that says my name on it or today's date, right? That you really can't fake, right? So ignore everything else. That's what you should ask for. Like, send me, if you suspect something is a scam, say, send me a selfie of, or a mirror selfie of you holding a white piece of paper that says blah 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 on it, right? And that cannot really be faked. I mean, I guess theoretically could with really good Photoshop skills, but they're not going to go that far. So she's like, your voice is really sexy. So here she's kind of giving me a reason why she's not using her real profile. And I'm reiterating again that, I want to see the photo. Show me a proof that you are real and more languages that Spanish. Another thing that seems off, clearly this chick is Latina, but she doesn't know Spanish. So this is probably a dude in India. How can I say that I'm a good girl, daddy? So here, let's see the photo first. I like who guys dominant. So changing the topic. She sends me a random photo, but again, no way of knowing that's her. She's like, I can call you daddy, Alex. You still there, daddy. I'm there just waiting on that pic. I'm shy. It really because not because I will ask you for money. I would rather send you naughty pics than face pics, though I'm not ugly. You're going to have to send the kind of pic I asked for. Otherwise, I will think you're fake. It's pity. I was thinking of sending you a more sensual one, blah, 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 blah. Excuse. And, here's where I just like left it off. Like, I'm not going to keep engaging with her because obviously, so what they do, so where this is going is they basically start sending you nudes, right? And then they're like, oh, send me a dick pic. And then as soon as you send them a dick pic, they blackmail you and they say, okay, we're going to share this with all your social media, everyone unless you give me like $5,000, right? That's what happens. And I've seen that happen. So if you guys, are getting shit like that on Tinder or Instagram, something that looks too good to be true, ask for proof. And if they can't provide proof, then don't be dumb, right? Like, don't fall for shit that sounds too good to be true. Because again, like, I know exactly where this is going. I've seen this with countless guys. Is she's sending you photos? And she's like, "Can I get a dick pic?" You send her a dick pic, and bam, they start blackmailing you, right? So you don't want to fall for that. But yeah, I want to just raise some awareness for that. All right, let's get into the Q&A. Alex, you're the best. Thank you, sir. Okay. Man, Alex is really playing with fire by being late. Yeah, sorry. I know. That's like, okay, I will fully acknowledge that's like one of my weak points is like, I do a lot, I'm pretty good at articulating things. I'm pretty funny. I give a lot of value for free, but I am late. I will fully acknowledge that. Why did you upload a 5-hour stream and then take it down to only 12 minutes highlights super lane? Well, I uploaded the 3.5 hours of that stream on what's it called? On my Rumble or whatever. Yeah, Rumble. So yeah, if you take a look on my community tab, I have a link there. So yeah, I had to do all the edits for the privacy stuff, but yeah, I uploaded it to Rumble. I just didn't want to have it on my YouTube channel because I said that I was only going to have one more video on this. And I figured 3.5 hours was like way too long for the average person to go through. So I did the highlights and then the full length version. If you want to see it, you can go on my Rumble. It's there. I just don't really want to keep polluting my YouTube page with that. Okay. I know that a lot of people are making fun of John in the chat. It's pretty funny. Okay. I'm going to unless there's a direct question, I'm mainly going to focus on like the value stuff. Tips for getting late in college and not being known as that guy. Well, that really depends on how big your school is, right? So if you go to a really small school with 2,000 people, then you have to be more careful. But if you go to like a big state school, 20,000 people, you have nothing to worry about. The best college is primarily centered around social circle. So getting into a fraternity would probably be the best or the easiest. Second to that would be like joining some of the clubs. So when I was in Boston University, I was on the snowboarding team, right? And the snowboarding team would always have parties together. So I would always get invited. if you don't do any of that, at least make friends with people who are in frats, or make friends with people who, are in clubs and stuff like that. But it's really like college is very heavily focused around social circle. Of course, you can still do cold approach in college, but I would just focus more on the social stuff, either get in with a frat or make a friend with someone who does, and then you go to their party, and then it's like super duper easy. How to get on the speed date? Very easy. Just jump on when I do the speed dating stream, and then I always post the link, and then you click on the link. You just got to get there early. How to recognize a time waster? What could be her motive to keep on chatting? Purely self amusement, right? When she's bored. How do you recognize? I have videos on this, but basically, if the girl's giving you one word answers every time you try to move things forward, she deflects or doesn't answer, that's kind of, what it is. When can we get Indian P for Q&A session? Soon. Yeah, that's not a problem. What percentage of girls you ask to come straight to the group accepted? About 60%. When is the contest with Coach Banana? It's going to be next week. We don't have an exact date yet, but it's going to be next week for sure. Alex, question. So why might a girl start making up excuses even after sex is good and you making her tap out and come multiple times? She starts being distant, weird. Could be that she didn't want to be attached. It could be really any number of reasons. Maybe she, got some anti-slut defense, and she, maybe there's something you said that you didn't even realize that she doesn't like. Maybe she was never serious about having anything more than a one night stand with you. It could really be any number of things. Can I get dude? That would be so fucking epic. I would love to, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's Saturday. We're non-day. Probably feeling well. It's only like fucking 7 p.m. where I am, so that's why I did this one early, is so I could actually do shit. So I'm gonna go out. Granted, it's gonna be to dinner with Natty, a few friends, my mom, but yeah, like that's why I'm doing this one early today. It's Saturday. Um, someone said, "Well, yeah, thanks." Allende even took a swing at John Anthony. 40 count Kevin is still hiding from John's. No, Kevin has told me that he's actually going to make multiple videos on that. He's just been, I guess, busy with travels. He just got to Southeast Asia. But yeah, he said that he's going to put it on his second channel because he doesn't want to dilute his primary channel. I don't have a second channel. Otherwise, maybe I would have a different strategy. But for me, just maintaining one channel is, enough. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so he's going to be doing videos on that. The German player just made video exposing nonsense the other day. Strongman persifies John. Yeah, no, Kevin told me straight up that he's going to make several videos in the next week. I saw the cringiest PU of all time. Yep, I've actually met Vince multiple times when I used to live in LA. He's a really, really nice guy. Like, he's such a nice person, but he's also super cringy. So, but yeah, that's kind of my impression of him. Okay. More consecutive rotation you had, as in longest girl been banging apart from Natty. Longest I've ever been with a girl, like maybe going on like 3 years, back when I used to live in LA or something like that. I mean, I'm still like on good terms with all my exes, so it just depends. But when we stopped hooking up, yeah, like probably 3 years. Alex, if you had to choose one aspect to focus on for better game, what would you choose and why? Um, I mean, there's so much. It just comes down to what your weak points are, right? If you're really good at like banter and opening, but you're not good at pulling, then that's what you should focus on. Or maybe you are good at pulling, but you're not good at banter, right? Or you're not good at making a girl feel comfortable. So there really isn't. It just comes down to what is your weakest weak point, and then you fix that, and then you improve, right? Do you have a countersuit for John Anthony lawsuits? If I want to, I definitely do. He has definitely defamed me multiple times, like made actual statements of fact that were just completely untrue, and I've shown that. So yeah, if he goes down that path, then yeah, I will bring that up. Yeah. Okay. How often do you get haircuts? Once a week. Fuck yeah, I am. Yeah, it's the season finale, of course. Okay. I'm gonna beast man. What's 310? So I'm working on how to start and continue cold approaching without getting discouraged. Well, I would say I would primarily focus on the weight loss. You can do some cold approach here and there for sure, but I really focus on the weight loss because once you get to like 180, 190 pounds, you're just gonna get such better ROI. So I would really, really focus on that and do some cold approach here and there. But just tell yourself that, hey, as soon as I get to that nice weight range, right, I'm gonna get much better results and trust in that because it's the truth. Thinking about coming to Europe anytime. I don't have any current plans to go to Europe right now. No, my next trip is going to be to Colombia in January, and that's primarily so I can do stem cells there. But yeah, that's about it. Uh, okay, John Anthony always shit talk man who got women outside the game. He would shit talk them basically. Do you recognize there are other ways outside of game? Of course. Well, let's clarify. There are other ways outside of cold approach, right? Hooking up with girls, unless you're paying for it, does require some level of game. Now, of course, if it's social circle, you probably don't need as much game. But yeah, there are definitely ways outside of dating apps and outside of cold approach to get girls. You can meet girls through your work. You can meet girls through friends. And yeah, I think it makes no difference how you met the girl as long as you're not paying for it or you're not simping for her. Do you have severe social? I wouldn't say I had severe. I had moderate general anxiety. I wouldn't say it was ever super severe, but I had general anxiety. So it wasn't like specific to approaching girls. It's just like just like general. Like no matter what I'm doing, I'll have it in the back of my head, and I still have it to a small extent. What has really, really worked for me is basically is not having too much like time to sit around and think and just being focused. So that's why I always like from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, I'm just doing shit. Like I'm focused on stuff, right? Because if I'm just sitting around, just like kind of like thinking, that's when my anxiety gets worse. If I'm doing cold approach or talking to a girl, again, I'm focused on that interaction. I'm not thinking about the past. I'm not thinking about the future, right? Also, desensitization has really worked well. So, for example, when I was nervous initially to approach girls, just going out and approaching girls in more intimidating situations, right? You eventually just becomes less and less of a big deal. Okay. Why hasn't John hired an Brazilian coach pursuing starting not easy mode Brazilian? I do not know. I do not know. Um, what are some good openers you've been using besides Ola Bonita, I like your style, and Hey Trouble? Um, well, we have a whole article on that. I mean, I like the one that what's his name? Wingman, whatever, plus introduced. He said, I can't tell if you're innocent and absolute baddie. That seems like a pretty good one. You can also combine it with some of the, some of my stuff. So let me just show you guys this. Like, well, actually, just go on. Okay, just go on to Playing with Fire and type in PWF openers, and I have like so many. I literally just did a short today on openers. So just type in PWF openers, and you're going to see like at least 5 or 6 videos with 2 dozen openers that you can use. What would be the perfect way to take a girl to a hotel if I had bad logistics? Yeah, the only way to really do that would be to establish a very sexual frame, either over text or in person. Personally, I have a video called How to Get Laid Even If You Live with Your Parents. You can check that out. But basically, I would establish a sexual frame and then just be like, let's go here. And then you just bring it up. But it has to be a sexual undertone. Alex, any tips for a date with a non DTF girl back at your place? Um, Well, first of all, why, if she's coming back to your place, it's kind of an oxymoron. She's non DTF, but she's coming back to your place, right? I mean, theoretically, it's possible, but it's unlikely. Most of the time, the girl's back at your place, she's at least somewhat DTF. Typically, what I do is when the girl's back in my place, I have a demo video on this. Is I'll typically just have a drink and then just slowly start escalating, basically. Yeah, what we're also going to do is we're going to open up the panel. I'm going to do like half an hour of like Q&A off the screen, and then we'll open up and people can come on and ask me questions more directly. Uh, Tips on starting to sexualize the bio when you didn't feel congruent with it yet. Mm, Sexualize when you don't feel. Well, I wouldn't really worry. I think people sometimes congruence is important, but I think people sometimes over paranoid. Just put it in your bio. Like even if it doesn't feel completely congruent, you will adopt it. Again, I'm not saying you go super 50 Shades of Gray, but putting in some sexuality in your bio is fine, even if it doesn't feel congruent. Like no girl is going to be like on a date, be like, yeah, I just you were kind of sexual in your bio, but it seems like you're a little platonic now, and I'm sensing the incongruence. So I think it's just like you're kind of worried about something that's not really an issue. It's Saturday night, and you're in your prime, and here we are. Someone said you can open the panel. We will, uh, bro. You should get a Danny Mullen app too. Yeah, I'll do my best. I've I've reached out to Adam. I've never reached out to Danny, but I can reach out to him. Vast majority of you guys do not. Yeah, I do. I'm pretty upfront about my career. I used to be a little worried about that, but I found that it actually works well, and a lot of girls are very curious about that. So yeah. Okay. How do you become a more dominant man, the kind of man that will pass the heaviest shit test and won't submit to? Well, a lot of that is not even so much dominance, but frame control. But again, you develop good frame control through practice, 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 and positive reference experiences, right? So the first time I did a debate about a year ago, like I didn't have any positive reference experiences, so I was a little nervous, right? But now I've done, countless debates, so my frame is a lot stronger. So this is not really even dominance. This is more with frame. How to get more matches on Feel and Coffee Meets Bagel? Well, the same way you would get more matches on other apps is just by having better photos, right? So, Field is more sexual, so you could use more sexual photos. Coffee Meets Bagel is, probably the least sexual of all the apps. So you might use a different kind of photos, but it really comes down to, photo quality. What's your opinion on Photoshop? I think it's okay. I wouldn't overdo it. FaceApp is a really good tool you can use. Has TRT 6 month period out? I know it went for well, I mean, it's TRT is like for me, it was very subtle. It wasn't like, whoa, it's not like I took like Molly or something like that. Wow, I feel so good. The first day I did TRT, I did have that like high for a day, but ever since then, it was just like small, subtle differences, like slightly more energy, slightly better sleep, slightly more stable mood, right? Less prone to I don't know, mood swings, like stuff like that. It's a series of subtle differences, and yeah, I still feel those differences. Is there a way to get a 30? Yeah, there is. You can send me an email. I do one-on-one coaching. Best advice to pull when you don't have a crib. I've been doing it, driving movies a lot. Um, yeah, I mean, you could do that. I mean, if where you live, um, if where you live there is drive-by movies. But best advice to pull, yeah, you could also, try to pull back to her place, or get a Airbnb or go to the car. But again, all of that requires establishing a sexual frame. Hey, Alex, this is Grace, the girl who emailed you. I've been streaming a lot about how girls feel. Red pill. Okay, well, let me know if you want to come on tonight, Grace. We can have you on for a little bit and have a discussion. Do you agree the premise that attraction can only be destroyed, not created through game? If yes, how does not? No, I think that I'll put it like this. It's of course a lot easier to kill attraction than to build attraction, right? You can kill attraction in 30 seconds, right? Just by saying some really dumb shit, but you're not going to build massive amounts of attraction in 30 seconds. So I think you have your baseline attraction, right? And then you can increase it, but it's very slow and progressive. And you're not going to go from the girl finding you repulsive to finding you super attractive, right? That's very rare. But you can go from her thinking that you're decent to you're, awesome, right? You can have that, but that's going to require time. But really, where game comes in is because just having attraction is not enough, right? The girl can be attractive. So fucking what? She's attracted to a whole bunch of guys. You have to make her feel comfortable. You have to build sexual tension. You have to deal with her concerns and objections. You have to get her back to your place. You have to make sex happen, right? That's really where game comes in. Amplifying attraction, yes, to some extent you can do that, right? But again, like just having attraction by itself is almost entirely irrelevant. Uh, Alex, what mistakes do you see the most with intermediate guys when it comes to game? I think I have a video on this actually. Most common intermediate mistakes. Check that out. I'm pretty sure I have a video on that. Um, but I think that, like at the top of my head, I would say that they're making things harder for themselves than they have to be. They're like, yeah, they're just kind of like still to some extent they're having limited mindsets, and they're like, oh, I can't hook up with a girl until the second date, or they're doing like suboptimal things like, oh yeah, I invited her for coffee. It's just like it's like they have a strategy, but it's not like fully optimized yet. Optimized. It's not fully like like efficient as it could be. Um, yes, of course. Alex, in your 20s, how many times did you cold approach? Tens of thousands? Like, I don't know, like a lot, like tens of thousands. Um, is Jack Demos videos the girls like him in the 5 seconds approaching giggle and they have boyfriend 9%? Looks if looks is only 50%, how does this happen too often? Well, again, I've been saying this. Yes, the girl liking him. Well, first of all, Jack Demo has a pretty good presence. He's confident, he's grounded, all that stuff, right? Take a guy. There's guys who are better looking than him than have significantly worse results, right? Because they don't have that kind of, they're not confident, they're not grounded, they're not, lighthearted and stuff like that. When we talk to girls, they're not funny, but yeah. So like with Jack Demo, yes, like even if you have attraction, you still need to do something with it. You still need to make shit happen, right? Like when I was like 18, 19, I probably had similar amount of attraction I have now. I'm sure girls found me attractive back then, but again, I wasn't able to make anything happen with that attraction. Alex, is there any tools, routines to help you with anxiety? Meditation can help. Kava can help. Kratom can help. Um, what's it called? Ashwagandha can help. Yeah, it's a little bit outside my area of expertise. I can only talk about the things that have helped me. For me, really, the biggest thing that helps me is just like focusing on other stuff. So, like, I'll have anxious thoughts like come in my head, and instead of like trying to, what I used to do is I used to try to suppress them, but that doesn't really work. Instead of doing that, I'll just redirect my energy on something else, right? So I'll redirect my energy on whatever I'm trying to focus on. Okay. A few months ago, you said you slept with a couple of these girls when you had low self esteem. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Well, I try to be very upfront. Do I think most coaches should admit that stuff? Yeah, I try to be very transparent, which is why I show, for example, failure compilations. Not a lot of coaches do that, right? There's some that do, but not a lot. So yeah, I just try to be upfront and very transparent about my life. But yeah, I like, I do think that's probably happened to literally every single coach out there. It's just a lot of them aren't talking about it. Uh, What's the biggest lesson you learned in text game from when you were new to it compared to now? Biggest lesson. I mean, there's so many. Um, I would say not to be over gamey. That's a mistake a lot of guys make, and I used to make when I was getting into it. Just be more straightforward and succinct. Like that can really help you instead of being gamey and overly wordy. Yeah, I know. How much kava do you drink per day? I don't know. I don't like measure it or whatever. Just like I don't know. I'll drink like this is probably what I'll drink throughout the night. It's just a jar I'll buy at a store. What is your response to John saying you doxed him? You were against doxing me waffles. It's so funny to see John playing victim now. He's like, I'm a victim. Like that's basically he's playing the victim narrative, which is a very SJW move. Okay, what happened in reality? Who was there on the stream saw? I reacted to a video that another content creator did, right? Ashley. And in that video, which I had no idea about, in the very bottom tiny thing, there was a small QR code that you could barely even see. And if you scan that QR code, you could potentially access some personal info. I had no idea about that. As soon as it was brought to my attention, what did I do? I privated the stream right away. And without being told by anyone, I did that literally right after the stream was over and censored everything, right? So I took corrective action, right? And again, it was a video that I was reacting to. It wasn't a video on my channel. So for him to say that like there's some kind of malicious intent or that I'm trying to dox him is beyond absurd. Furthermore, it's really funny because about a week ago, I wasn't even going to bring this up. He accidentally doxed Natty, right? And again, he gave her full legal name. It was an accent. I could tell it was an accent. I messaged Coach Whitebill. He communicated that to John, and John eventually, I believe, blurted it out, right? So, like, I didn't even bring it up because I knew it was an accident, but like he's like, he's like fucking gonna do that to me when he's intentionally he's publicly admitted to doxing wheat waffles, which he even still says is not doxing. And furthermore, if you go through the Coach Ryan stuff, which again, I'm not gonna be like releasing any of that. I'm kind of done with this drama. If you go through those videos, he's actually legit straight up saying that I'm gonna dox your whole family, right? So he just does not have a leg to stand on when it comes to this. Like again, it's really funny to see him playing victim. He's just like literally just trying to deflect from the fact that the real issue was that he was lying to his audience about his marriage, right? That's a real issue. There's no problem with someone being married, but there's a problem with lying about it. So yeah, it's kind of my piece on that. I mean, to me, it's like when I saw that video, I was like, this is so absurd. Thanks, I appreciate that. Is it realistic to try to date without using social media? Yes, but it's going to be harder. What are some of the cities you say are pretty hard to game in, but will get you really good if you succeed in said city? Um, like I don't know, any major city in the U.S., Miami, L.A., San Francisco, San Diego, like cities like that, probably. Yo, I have 15. If I turn my camera, show you my profile, can you help me run on text game? Sure. Yeah. If you can, as long as one, there's no privacy information, like you make sure that you're not revealing anything. You have to do the legwork on that. And as long as we can show everything, yeah, I'll be down to do that today. Let me know if you want to come on. Okay. How to get over next when no other chick you get with seems to meet the same standards. Again, that's just you will meet another girl. I've been through breakups that where I thought that like, oh, she was the best. There's 7 billion people on this planet, right? 3.5 billion of them are female. Let's just say old ladies, whatever, whatever. There's potentially 500 million women out there who are young, single, and looking to meet someone. It is almost a certainty that you will meet another girl who will be just as good, if not better. You just haven't met her yet. Okay, what else do we have? Alex, do you ever watch Keys to the IP? Mhm. I did a reaction video to that, actually. Cute and super rich 20-year-old Tinder girl that's an entrepreneur keeps chatting with me, but rejected some dates at pros. I don't have a car, so I better just play humbly and low profile here. Well, it does seem like you're kind of putting her on a pedestal by the way you're typing that. So again, don't think of the girl as better than you, even if that may seem like the case. Um, yeah, if she's rejecting the dates, I would try to find a date that works. But if she's rejecting everything, then fuck her, move on. Like, what are you gonna do? Be her text buddy? Also, how come you didn't push back against her the night when she tried arguing, playing the field doesn't help a guy being positive reference experience? Can I debate her again? Um, I've debated Erudite. I just didn't want to get into like the same repetitive shit. She was debating the black pill guy. But I've had Erudite on my channel twice for one-on-one debates, and I'm 99% sure that I brought that up. So yeah, you just because I didn't do it in that moment doesn't mean I didn't challenge her on that. I've debated Erudite countless times, and yeah, you can debate her again. Okay. I had some girls very interested in the beginning on Tinder, but as time went on, they lost interest. Why is that? I think I played too cool. That is possible. Also, maybe they met up with another guy. Again, interest is not like a static thing. It can, go up, right? The girl's interested, and then she can, can die 2 weeks later. So yeah, you just got to when you have the interest, you have to capitalize on it, right? But if you wait too long, you play too cool, right? The girl just moves on. How important do you think it is to DHV? Tricky question because if you DHV correctly, I think it could be valuable, but I don't think it's essential. I think the way you carry yourself and the way you interact should already be a DHV. Like being confident, being funny, that's a DHV in of itself. So doing these like conscious DHV lines, I don't think are essential. No, but they can be helpful. Is it okay to make your nose small in Tinder photos? Sure. I've been described as intense on dates. Any advice to learn to dial intent back? Um, well, intense and intent are different things. But humor is probably the best way. Who do you think should get a deepfake? Again, whoever wants to can get one. Again, it's not something that I did an experiment. People always take this out of context, but I did an experiment video where I played around with a deepfake. It was fun. And you can do it. I personally haven't used a deepfake in ages, right? Again, because I haven't really saw photos myself. I did it for that experiment, and a few other people reached out to me and asked me, "Hey, Can you help me? I want to get one too. And again, I just put them in touch with the person who did mine. I wasn't like, getting any percentage of it. I wasn't in any way involved. I literally just was trying to be nice and introduce them to the people, to the person who did mine. That's really was the extent of it. But who should get one? Whoever the fuck wants to, I guess. I mean, again, there's pros and cons to that. Check out my video I did in deepfakes where I talk about that. Do you think having a fragrance would help establish sexual object when you're on date? Not really. I don't. I think that's not going to make a difference. Why do you think you got banned from dating apps? Because you told the girls you matched with your dating coach or something? So that no. Again, I have no way of proving this, but the reason, and also just to clarify, I'm currently on 4 apps, right? So we're talking about the reason I got initially banned, right, which was 6 months ago. Um, I think it largely had to do with the fact that my channel's becoming like a little bit more popular, and girls in my area saw that and they would report me. I think like what I'm doing with taking screenshots, of the conversations, putting them on YouTube videos. I'm pretty sure that's against like those apps terms of service, right? So whenever a girl would report my profile, it would just get instantly taken down, right? Because again, Tinder was like, oh, this guy's taking screenshots. Now it makes no sense because if anything, I'm getting Tinder and all those apps a lot of new clients. But yeah, so I think that has to do. I think that had to do with the YouTube channel. Had nothing to do with what I was doing. Okay. What else do we have? I disagree. You have many naturals, no knowledge of the base of the belief allows them to do game. Inner game is definitely important. Yeah. Would you ever get? No, I would not. I like tattoos though. I just would not fucking tattoo my leg count. Uh, uh, Yeah, so I really don't think there's more to it than what I said already, though. Like, it would be a very boring video. Like, again, my advice for college is utilize the social aspect of it, like with fraternities and stuff like that, or joining clubs. That's really the extent of my advice. Like, there's nothing more I could add on this, honestly. Everything else is exactly the same. Can game social skills generate traction on its own, i.e., you aren't conventionally attractive? Yes, it can. Um, but there are limits. So if the girl finds you repulsive with really good social skills, you're not going to get her to think that you're hot, right? But again, the girl can be like, yeah, he's not that attractive, but I don't find him repulsive. But through good humor, social skills, charisma, confidence, she will find you overall, as a whole package more attractive. So yes, but there are limits to it. Yeah, that's fine. You can pull to a tiny house. What do you think it's the weakest point in your own game? Oh, lack of enthusiasm, honestly. It's I think that's probably my weakest point is that like I would prefer to work on my business or prefer to spend time with friends or family than do cold approach. So I would say it's definitely like a lack of enthusiasm, honestly. But I am excited to film some infield. It's gonna be a pain in the fucking ass, but I'm gonna do it. Can you talk about time living in LA? Yeah, well, LA, I lived in LA 2013 to 2017. It was a very different place than it is now. Like, so I left LA in 2017. Yeah, I just, I wanted to get the fuck out. I lived there for a while. Where did I like to game? I don't know. The Grove was pretty good. Santa Monica Promenade, Venice Boardwalk. Actually, another place was where I had pretty good results was like the college campuses. So like UCLA and Pasadena City College, PCC. I had pretty good results there. But I left because, yeah, I just kind of got tired of some of the things there and then moved to Texas and then I moved to Miami. Okay. What else do we have? Um, Alex, are there workarounds for people sensible to loud sounds? Yeah, actually, I am one of them. My voice gives out really easily if I'm in like in a loud environment. If I go to a club 20 minutes in, I'm sounding like this. You can't hear me talk at all. So yeah, so I personally what I do is I just avoid those loud environments. There's like chill lounges, chill bars. I will not go to a bar or club that is too loud. Like that's just a hard rule I have. So yeah. Assuming you were aware that John's legal match is purely for residents, why did you choose to expose a big gotcha? That was that question. I'm pretty sure I know. Again, the issue is not with him being married. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with someone being married for whatever reason. I have a lot of friends who are married, right? I'm not exposing them. The issue is the lying, right? He's lying to his audience about it. That's the issue, right? It's the lying. It has nothing to do with actual act. Look, like, is there something wrong with me? I don't know, like fucking living in Miami? No, nothing wrong about that in the surface, right? But if I'm lying to you guys and I'm saying that I'm living in like fucking Japan or I'm living in like, I don't know, fucking Singapore, like then that's an issue because I'm lying and that shows a really lack of character. Okay, what else do we have? Uh, have I ever dated a stripper? I've hooked up with strippers. I would never date a stripper. I don't think I would date a stripper, but I've hooked up with them. Okay. How do you ever email to chat? Yes, I have. Not in a while. I've like as I got older, I realized that like the whole amogging or stealing girls from guys is super lame, and so I won't do it nowadays. But when I was like kind of getting into game, like 23, 24, I would do it for the lulz. Yeah, I have done that, but yeah, not something I would do now. Yeah, I take minoxidil and I take GHKCU. It's a peptide. You just smear it on. I do derma rolling. I've done PRP injections. Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff. Um, okay, what else do we have? Yeah, a lot of troll questions. Okay. Is there a point where you're too ugly for Tinder? I'm short with a below average face, done many photo shoots, spent 100 euros, but results are brutal. Yes, there could be a point where you're too ugly for Tinder. It's less than 1% of guys are going to be at that point. Indy, do you want to come on the live stream and we can go through your photos together and I'll give you my honest assessment? Like, I think now you caught me at a perfect time. So let me know in the chat if you want to come on. We can go through your photos live on air and I'll give you feedback. Okay, yeah, maybe I got the math wrong. I don't know if it's like tens of thousands, maybe it's 5,000. I don't know. The point is, it's a lot, way more than I ever count. Do you think girls are not going to bars anymore? No, in Miami, there's a whole bunch of girls going to bars. So yeah, yeah, definitely, they're still doing. How do you deal with girls who have inflated egos? Either by avoiding them or by teasing them and like kind of making fun of them playfully and kind of yeah. You can say negging, but I prefer not to use that term. Okay, what else do we have? Alex dropped the link. Okay, I will in a second. Okay, let me actually drop the link now, and then people can come backstage. But yeah, let's not get into like if you want to ask me a question or two about the drama stuff, I can answer it. But let's not like really turn this into a like fucking hour of shitting on John type of stream. Okay. Alex, don't you find it interesting that you laughed at on TikTok, which is full of young, while you claim to be the one seducing them? Okay, first of all, it's not the young hot girls that are laughing at me. If you look at the people who are roasting me on TikTok, it's like this really weird looking feminist. I have not seen one hot girl actually roast me. It's all like really weird looking creatures. So that's the first thing. The second of all, there's also a whole bunch of people who support me on TikTok, right? So yeah, just because there's a lot of feminists on TikTok who are trying to say that my game doesn't work, who look like the kind of girls I wouldn't even want to approach in the first place. That doesn't say anything, neither positive or negative, about my shit. Okay, this is interesting. Like, I don't know where this can you please show some proof? Like, I'd be more than happy to get you on the stream if you can show some kind of evidence. Like, I don't. This is like one of those weird like talking points that just like is based on literally nothing. Okay. Let's go through a few more. I have a video on that. I have several videos on that, so just search that. Do you intend to do the stuff as seasoned veteran This stuff. Oh, like when I'm 50? No, hoping not. No, I don't think I'm gonna be doing pickup when I'm 50. Um, that girl you were dating kind of fucked up. Oh, we got Grace backstage. All right, I'll bring her on in a second. Let me. Okay, I just want to do a few more questions. Um, Yo, Alex, I've never had too many issues with chicks. I found this channel help out. Friend was really struggling, but actually learned a lot too. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Alex, what do you recommend if a girl? That's my mom, by the way. I'm not cheating on that. If a girl has initiated conversations and you're all but weren't called last conversation by me, uh, if a girl initiated conversation, you one, I would try to get the meet up again and yeah, turn around there. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What's up, Grace?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so what I actually honestly don't know anything about you besides the from when the whole Andrew thing happened. Uh
Yeah, sorry about that.
no, it's all good. So yeah, what did you want to discuss?
Well, I got into this whole sort of manosphere thing because I was watching Crucible debate and I saw Hormaxer
Mm.
and initially I kind of disagreed with him, but I've kind of like become weirdly friends with him and I actually kind of
That's kind of what happened to me too.
yeah. So I'm actually now in this whole like I'm streaming about like black pill and red pill and all that stuff, and I kind of agree with him and disagree with the red pill at
Mm.
this point.
Okay. You're
Yeah.
you're you're into like the whole steroids and like going to swinger club shit.
Not so much that part of it, but I kind of agree that like if you're in the game for sex, then you should just kind of go for sex, not do the whole like manipulation and flirting thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think you should be straightforward, but the flirting thing, like that's flirting is not manipulation, right? Just being playful and teasing the girl, having some fun and building sexual tension, that's not manipulation. But yeah, I agree with you. You shouldn't like lie about your intentions.
Yeah. I think he's actually I mean, I think he's a really funny guy and a lot of people like especially on the Christian side of YouTube or whatever think he's horrendous and I just totally don't agree. I think he's like totally funny. So,
Yeah,
and then
I think he's hilarious. I
yeah.
think he's absolutely fucking hilarious. Although, I think his approach to dating is very ineffective. Like when you meet a girl, inviting her to a swinger club within 30 seconds, I think Hormaxer could do so much better if he just used a little bit more tact, social tact, a little bit
Yeah.
more flirting and stuff like that, instead of just being like, "Hey, you want to go to a swinger club? We can film a porno there." Like that's just, you're
That's basically what he said to me.
kind of shooting yourself in the foot with that strategy.
It worked for me though cuz he invited me to Vegas and I want to go.
Oh shit! So you're gonna film a porno with him, or what's the plan?
Um, you know, I don't really want to do that stuff too much, but if he wanted to, I would legit go to Vegas with him and like, just like go to clubs with him and stuff and live stream it all. I don't care. I think it would be hilarious.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, you might run into an issue. Those swinger clubs, they're like really like if you're like videotaping or like phones, like they're really really fucking iffy about that. Unless you
Oh,
get like
yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, we haven't exactly, like, worked it out yet, but I just think it would be hilarious. But, yeah, so then I
okay,
started watching your channel, and I think you're, like I just think you're so funny. I love your videos. I just think it's
thanks,
hilarious, and I think you're, like, a really fair moderator and stuff.
thanks.
I just, I I disagree with the whole idea of game and all that stuff, but,
Hmm. Okay. What part of it do you disagree with?
well, I mean, I don't know much about it because I haven't really been dating and stuff. I'm just kind of interested, but I guess I kind of disagree that you can teach somebody how to flirt, I guess.
Oh, really? Okay, interesting. We should do a debate at some point in the future because I feel like it's going to take at least an hour. But I will fundamentally disagree with that. I think you can absolutely teach someone flirting skills. Using myself as a case in point, when I was
Mhm.
like 17, 18, I had no idea how to flirt with girls. I was really awkward, right?
Yeah.
I would just be like, "So, what are you doing later? Oh, cool. Yeah, party. Yeah. Right. Versus now, I flatter myself to think that I'm pretty good at flirting, right? And teasing
Mm.
girls and sexual tension. So yeah, I think you absolutely can do that. But yeah, we should do a debate about that in the future.
Um, Andrew might be too scared to debate me, but maybe he could moderate a debate. We should, you know what we should do? We should do me and Hormaxer versus you and somebody.
That would be fun. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down to do that. Yeah, 100%. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about the whole thing. I really like your channel. I think it's really interesting. You know, the whole like your advice for people. I actually think, you know, like I think on your dating show, I just think that's really interesting to see people like interact like that. I've never seen that before. I think it's
Hmm.
really cool what you do. I just personally like I kind of disagree with the way you go at it. But I don't know, you know, it's working for
Okay.
you.
Yeah, well, maybe I can change your mind during the debate. You know, I've had a few situations where I've debated people, like Ashley, for example.
Mhm.
She initially found me like repulsive. She thought I was like teaching manipulation stuff like that, and
Mhm.
now we're pretty good buds after our debate. So
Yeah.
sometimes you can like change someone's mind during a debate. So yeah, we should definitely do that. Yeah, yeah, we can get Hormaxer on the party, and I'll find a partner. Yeah, I'd totally be down to do that. Do you have a
Yeah.
like? Are you a YouTuber yourself? Like, do you have a channel or?
Yeah, I stream on my dad's channel. I sort of stream with him during the weekdays, and then I do my own thing on Fridays. It's called Ben Thorpe, aka Abel. It's Thorpe is Thorp. I could maybe send it in the chat or whatever. But I do something called Feminine Fridays, which I know is kind of not the most original title. But last Feminine Friday, I had this huge panel sort of discussion about like what are masculine things. You know what I mean? Like what
Mm.
makes a man masculine? Like you know, having a shitty car versus having a fancy car. And you know, I asked the whole panel, and it's a lot of fun. I do fun stuff like that on Fridays.
But you'll talk about like sexual stuff like with your dad on the channel? Like how does that work?
Oh no, so I do my own stream on Friday, so
Okay.
it's like not with my dad. My dad does sort of like religious stuff, and then I do
Okay.
sort of like a kind of like talking about these issues, but like with a girl instead of
Okay.
you know.
So,
So
well,
I
yeah.
think I always
Yeah,
get a ton
I'll
of
feel like really awkward if like with my mom talking about like, all right, so let's talk about 5 ultimate sex tips. Mom, what's your take on this?
yeah.
What do you think about hair pulling? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do get into the sexual stuff a little bit because my mom sometimes streams with me on Fridays, but like it's mostly like what makes men attractive to girls. And I think our
Damn,
main
you got the whole family in on it. Is grandma streaming too? Is there like Sundays grandma night? Grandma's like doing like
it's
from the
kind
old
it's
folks.
you know, it's weird, but like I think people really like it because like if it was just me, then they kind of be afraid of hurting my feelings or something. But because my
Okay.
mom's there, they kind of feel like it's chill. And you know, I don't think there's a lot of women in this space talking about like how women react to like, you know, dating advice or that kind of thing, like how it
There's
would
some,
actually
but not too
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, let's definitely set up that debate. I would love to make that happen. Yeah, you got my email. Just shoot me an email,
Yeah.
and I'll shoot you my number, and we can like discuss on WhatsApp. But yeah, that would be really fun. Us two, Hormaxer, and I'll get one more person for my team. I'm gonna
Yeah,
think on it, but
that would
I
be
think it'll be an
hilarious.
epic debate.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me on. I really do love your channel.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, it was good to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
All right, take care, Grace. Bye bye. Yeah, that would be a fun ass debate. I'm totally down with that. All right, let's bring on. Okay, we got Lou. I can't bring you on because your camera is off. It says device not connected. Hello. Hello. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay, let's get Greg on. Yo,
Yo,
what's going
what
on?
up? What up?
Not much, bro. What's going on with you?
Not much, just representing the banana team for the
Yeah,
competition.
yeah. We got a little conflict of interest, huh?
Oh yeah,
Well, you're on the other team,
I
so
know. I'm like halfway in, halfway. I'm kind of like a traitor right now.
yeah, I know. That's funny. But yeah, did you want to discuss anything specific?
Yeah, I do actually. So I wanted to ask you about so like, cause I asked that question with like the chick, cause like I kind of had a situation where like I kind of, excuse me, like I banged this chick, and like she was basically just like I did everything that like the other guys did, and she's like, oh, I've never been tied up. I'm like, perfect, I'll tie you up. So I did the whole BDSM, and like she was like tapping out, like she just kind of like, oh, hold up, I need a break. I was like, all right, that's fine, like. And then everything was great. Like she was just kind of like up there, but then like afterwards, the vibe kind of just started going down, and I was just like, all right, like whatever, because we were both like on the same page. Like we wanted something casual. We weren't looking to like jump into like a serious relationship. And then like after that whole like ordeal, I was just kind of like confused. I was like, because I've definitely been in situations where like good sex, usually everything, like they keep coming back, but this time it felt like maybe that kind of like pushed her away in a way. So I was just curious on like your take on that whole situation.
Have you not seen her since?
Nah, we kind of had like a falling out. Like we were supposed to meet up, and then she kind of was just like kind of like playing games and stuff like that. And I basically told her like I'm not here to play games, and that kind of just like pushed her, I guess.
So there was like an awkward moment during the BDSM session.
No, the sex was great. Everything was like fire, like. Yeah.
So then what do you feel was awkward about the whole thing? Just that she.
No, like after after like the fact, like just she started like kind of like pushing away. It's like the vibe started switching like towards because like we were supposed to meet up the other day.
Maybe that's just a coincidence. Maybe that has nothing to do with the BDSM. It's just the timing is kind of like that.
Probably.
I mean, my way of dealing with that is just to have like an open dialogue. So I'll just be like, hey, I noticed that the vibe has been a little off lately. Is there anything going on your end? Like that's literally how I would address that. It's just like with very direct communication.
Right.
I won't take like, and if the girl's like, oh no, nothing's wrong, I'll be like, come on, like we both know something is wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that's kind of like my way of handling that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I told her I was like straightforward, and like that actually won her over because like I got her to come over. Like literally, like I probably pulled her like 2 days of talking through like Facebook, and then like got the meet up. Everything was like solid. She seemed like the party type of chick. You know what I mean? That girl always goes out to clubs and shit like that. So like even though because you had that one video, it's like how to talk to like the hot party type. Those girls that are always like. She seems to fall into that category. So I feel like they're just wild cards in general. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my least favorite type of girl.
Yeah, so I think it checks out. But yeah, that's solid advice, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude. But yeah, dude, thanks for coming on, bro.
Dude, always a pleasure.
I'll see you during the competition.
Oh, got you, man.
All right, buddy. Take care. All right, let's get Lou on. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Okay, what's up, man? Just one question. I'll keep it short.
Huh? Yeah, go ahead.
You kind of stick to 2 to 3 topics, and my question is, do you ever hit like a dead end? Because I noticed with me, I kind of run out of things to say, and it's kind of like it gets awkward, and then I kind of just say dumb shit, and then that doesn't play out pretty good. So I was just curious, like, do you hit dead ends like that?
Well, like where you're talking to a girl and just run out of shit to say, basically?
Yeah, and that, and like you say that you stick to 2 to 3 topics. Like I feel like I've heard you say that.
That's just I mean, sometimes I do way more topics. The point I was making is that you don't want to like be all over the place talking about like every a bunch of random topics. Hey, how's your day? Hey, where are you from? Oh, what do you like to do for fun? Like, oh, what's your favorite like you don't want to be all over the place. You want to like pick a thread and kind of stick with it until it takes you as far as you can get.
Yeah.
Then you can move on to a different thread. Do I run out of things to say? I mean, not so much nowadays, but sure, that used to happen to me. But again, the more you practice like flirting, interacting, it just at this point it's pretty hard for me to run out of shit to say because I've done like thousands of these types of shit, and so like my brain can just like link stuff up from the past, right? So I mean, theoretically, yeah, it could happen that I run out of things to say. It's just like it's not likely, but yeah, I mean, but again, like that, a lot of that just has to do with practice. I just like practice, and then you just get better.
I feel that.
I did stand up comedy
100%.
like 2 years ago, and like I kind of like ran out of jokes, like 3-4 minutes in.
Yeah.
That's because it was my first time doing stand up. I'm sure if I do it over and over, I'll be like much more better at improv.
Okay, and just real quick, like let's just for like hypothetical, let's say you're on a date and you run out of things to say. Is there like a go-to question you kind of kick things off that you know what I mean? Like that would like. That's kind of like your go-to if shit gets awkward.
A question I really like is, what kind of guys are you into?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my fallback one.
Well, it sounds good, man. Yeah, that was my only thing. I think I just gotta get like, yeah, I think it's just nervousness when I run out of shit to say. I just totally freeze, and it just
Yeah,
kind of
well,
like,
yeah. When you're nervous, your brain shuts down, right, and you run out of things to say, right? So yeah,
hell yeah.
like when you're hanging out with your friends, right? Do you ever run out of things to say with your friends? Probably not, right? You just like
Nah.
for forever, right? So like, what's the difference? Well, the difference is when you're talking to a girl, you're nervous, right? So once that nervousness goes away, then your brain can just naturally come up with shit to say.
Oh, I do have a second question. I'll be short. My bad.
Okay.
But you talked about meditation. Like, do you do that before dates, or do
I mean,
you
I
do it?
used to. I'll be honest. I haven't meditated in like 4 or 5 years, but I used to.
Okay.
Yeah, when I was getting into game, I think it's helpful. But yeah, I haven't done it in a while.
And was it like a TM type of meditation, or was it just like breath work and like?
It was just like standard breath work. Yeah, just
Uh,
like I think I used to have an app or something. There's this. It's called the Heart Math Institute, and they you can buy sensor from them for like 160 or $200, whatever. But basically, it monitors your heart rate variability, and so it like kind of gives you feedback while you're meditating. So I kind of like that stuff. So you're getting feedback on your meditation. So if you're like
oh
falling out,
shit, that's kind of
congruence.
sick. Well, what's it called again? I want to write it down.
It's the Heart Math Institute, and it's the heart rate variability monitor, I believe.
Heart rate variability. All right, man. Well, that was everything. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, dude. All right, man. Have a good one. All right, we'll do a little bit more. We're gonna wrap up by 9. Okay. Hello. Hello.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
What's up, dude?
Nice to meet you, Alex.
Yeah, likewise, bro. What's going on? What do you want to discuss?
Yeah, so really specifically with me, so me and my roommate, we have gotten into doing some day game. His name's also Alex, and he also actually too is Russian. And I will say my main thing is kind of like what the last person was saying in terms of like not running out of things to say. Like, is there a set framework of how you choose to take the conversation? Because like kind of what I mean is like my social skills in general with people are pretty decent. It's like I've worked in sales for over 7 years, so I know how to work with people. And I know in sales, it's, you never have like, oh, I'm going to say these exact words, but you should have like a clear framework of this is the direction I'm looking to take things. I'm trying to cover these types of ideas to get to this place. Like, is there like a clear framework or structure that you would say you have when you're doing an approach?
Yeah, well, with sales, the direction you're trying to get things towards is them buying the product, right? That's the end goal. With pickup, it's pretty much the same thing. The end goal is you sleeping with a girl, right? So everything you're doing is ideally moving you in that direction. Now, of course, if like, you meet a girl on the street for like, 2 minutes and she's like, yeah, I'm going to a friend's house, you're probably not going to pull her. So then your next best thing is to get her number and set up a solid date, right? So yeah, but like everything, the direction you're going in is like, hooking up with a girl. But there's levels to that. Like there's getting the number, there's getting the date, right? There's building comfort, building sexual tension. But the ultimate end goal is obviously sex.
Yeah, but I guess like what I mean though is like, after you open with because I know you mentioned things like saying, hey, I thought you were really cute, just wanted to come introduce myself. Like, do you have it in your mind that like, okay, after I've done my opener, then my goal is to say something that will get her to laugh, then after this I'll say something to make it more man to women.
Yeah, I don't like having a rigid structure like that. I know there are other pickup artists who are actually pretty good, like Gabriel Gray, who do use a very rigid structure like that. I personally don't really like that. I like to just more like just have a natural convo and just flow. But yeah, a lot of it just depends on like, like if you watch like some of the speed dates demonstrations I did, like that's basically what I would do on a date. And if you watch like some of my cold approach infield, like that's basically what I would do if I approach a girl. But there's not like a set structure. Like some of my interactions might be 1 minute, some of them might be 10 minutes, right? It just depends on all the factors. Like, how compliant is this girl? Is she in a rush somewhere? Does she seem nervous? Does she seem like she has an objection? Does she seem flaky or reliable? There's like all these factors that I'm taking into account. That's going to dictate what I'm going to say. And I'm also going to be very observant and try to pick up her body language and any cues that she gives me. But no, I don't like to have a very rigid structure for flirting.
Okay, and I guess like when you're getting good at game, or at least like decent, when would you say is like a realistic like percentage of interactions to like numbers leading to dates that you can expect? That way I can kind of understand like a barometer of how on pace I am when I'm doing things.
We're talking about cold approach?
Yeah, when you're doing cold approach.
What city do you live in?
I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, you're in the South. It's not going to be as flaky there. I would say something like if you approach 10 girls, if you're good, you'll get half of those girls' phone numbers, and out of those 5 phone numbers, you will get like maybe 2 dates. Like I think that's pretty good for a city like Charlotte. Now, if you lived in Miami, I would say maybe 1 date. Out of those 5, maybe even less. But Charlotte, from what I know, is not like a flaky city. Generally, girls there have good Southern values. So yeah, I would say something like that. If you approach 10 girls, half of them are number closes, and out of those, maybe 2 out of those 5 lead to a date, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Thanks for the pointers and feedback. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Nice to meet you, bro. But yeah, have a good one, buddy.
Yeah. Nice to meet you as well.
Take care. Okay, we got Playing with Alex's Balls. Interesting username. Hello? Hello, Mr. Playing with Alex's Balls. Okay, well, gotta be ready. All right, Chris, hello?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I was just wondering, how exactly do you spot an issue with your dating app profile when it's supposed to be above average?
Sorry, I'm a little confused. How do you spot an issue? Are we talking about with your profile?
Yeah. So I'd say my photos are definitely above average, pretty good, I'd say. Bio and stuff as well, but I can't really spot the issue because it's not working for me.
So you're not getting matches?
Yeah.
Okay, so well, that means your profile is not above average, right? That means there's something is off with your profile. So yeah, if you want, you can
that's
just.
What I'm wondering, because I definitely say it's above average.
Yeah, I mean, if I had $1 for every time I had a client tell me that they thought their profile was pretty good and it turned out not to be good, I would have a lot of money. Let's put it that way. If you want to pull up your profile real quick, we can take a look at it together.
Sure. How to do that?
That's a good question. I think you're going to have to screenshot the photos. And then, are you on your phone or computer right now?
Computer.
Okay, so go on your phone, screenshot the photos, email them to yourself, and then we'll just pull them up. Yeah, it'll probably take you a few minutes to do that. So I'll just bring on the next person while you do that.
Wait, email them to myself or?
Yeah, well, you're gonna you're gonna be able to. We're gonna share the screen. So email them to yourself or email them to me. Doesn't matter. And then I'll share this. We'll share this. Either you'll share the screen or I'll share the screen.
Oh yeah, cool. Where can I find your email?
My email is playingwithfirechannel@gmail.com. So
Okay,
just
got it.
Yeah. All right, cool. So I'll bring you on next to give you some time to do that.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. Let's bring on Looks for L. Oh, I feel like this is gonna be a long one. Hello.
Yeah, it's good.
What's up?
It doesn't have to be long. I just wanted to comment. I've really been enjoying your feud with John. I think you guys have a lot of good points on both sides, but he does have some merit in saying that his girl is kind of objectively like really hot, compared to your girl. And I know he used some photos of her that weren't quite as good, but people need to look up to someone who could like land kind of like a supermodel, especially if you're like a top guru type of guy. What do you think about that?
Well, no offense to Liz, I don't think she's a supermodel. She is a pretty girl.
Well, she's like damn hot. I mean, we can agree on that, right?
She's attractive, yeah. I mean, she's not like exactly my type. Like she would be too tall for my taste, but yeah, I can see. Yeah, she's a pretty girl for sure. Especially since the boob job. then yeah, that definitely took her up.
Yeah, I mean, half the Miami girls have boob jobs too, so that's not really like a
Well,
fair point.
my girlfriend doesn't have a boob job, but yeah. Anyway, the point is, so you're asking me, what's the question? Like, is it important for the dating coach to have a hot girlfriend?
Yeah, like a really hot girl, not just like kind of an average looking girl.
Well, is the implication that my girl's average looking? Because I would disagree with that.
Well, okay. I mean, we can disagree and agree on different things, but like, okay, I guess there's no convincing you on that, but it's pretty obvious,
Yeah, again, like I wouldn't be dating my girlfriend if I thought she was just like meh.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
So is the point that John's girlfriend is hotter? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, objectively, like that would be my point. Like John, I think he's a little bit, he's a little insecure and stuff like that too. But this is one thing in his favor.
A little insecure. I mean, I actually don't really know how that has anything to do with anything. The point I was making is that he's lying about a lot of things that he's saying about me and lying about other things that he tells his audience, right? I've never attacked his girlfriend for not being hot or something like that. I think also another factor to consider, which John does like to dismiss, is the fact that he lives in Brazil, where it is significantly easier to meet girls than a city like Miami, right? So yeah, that's not even like if we want to play this game, which I think is just a weird dick measuring contest, then we'd have to live in the same city or the same caliber of city to see who can pull hotter girls, right? But if one of us is living in a country where you get like 10 times as many matches on Tinder and the other one is not, then that's not really a thing. Also, another thing is you would have to adjust for sexual market value. So, for example, if I see like someone like Justin Mark, who is like a 5'3" Indian guy, if he's dating a 6. That's pretty impressive, right? Versus if like someone like like I don't know, someone who's really attractive, like Jason James or someone like that, or someone who's like whatever is dating a 6, then that's not impressive. So if you want to play this game, you'd have to, 1, control for sexual market value, and 2, you'd have to control for the environment. I think controlling for the environment is probably the most important part. So it's just like it's 1, I just think it's a weird dick measuring competition, but 2, if we are going to do this competition, then it has to be a fair competition. We have to live in the same city.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, Coach Kyle was another coach that came to mind that has like an attractive girlfriend as well. And I think his social skills are pretty good. He also has high SMV, in my opinion. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I met Coach Kyle's girlfriend. She's, I find her attractive, sure.
Yeah.
I actually didn't even know it was her. Me and Austin were like trying to pick her up without realizing it was Coach Kyle's girlfriend.
That's a bit awkward.
Yeah, I know. But, once we found out, obviously we stopped. But, yeah.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, again, well, first of all, I mean, like John has like publicly attacked Coach Kyle and said that his game sucks. So
yeah, I mean, his game is not that good, but he already has high SMV to begin with, so you don't really need game. And at first, I didn't believe you really need game at all, but after seeing Greg like try to seduce these women, I hope you can help the poor guy out because he doesn't speak very eloquently, and he says like a lot. So I hope you can help him out because it's a little bit cringe. I'm sure the chat's been.
Well, he's not. He wasn't drafted for my team. He's drafted on Coach Whitehill's team. So it's going to be. But I think Greg, if you watch his like earlier speed dates, he's improved a lot. Like he may still not be like fucking really good, but if you compare him to where he was at, he is better. And you can't you're not going to have someone that goes from sucking to being really good in the span of 2 weeks. That just it's a very slow, gradual process. Generally speaking.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't notice it came off a little bit cringe the way he was talking to these girls, trying to control the frame and stuff. I don't know. It came too tried hard. Trying too hard.
Which speed date are we talking about? He's got multiple.
You could pick like any of them, like literally any of them. It's just like always trying to be like, oh, well, I don't know. It was just kind of cringe. It's kind of hard to explain.
Well, no, I think there's some. Well, yeah, he had I think 2 speed dates that I thought were pretty cringe. Like the one with Hattie, that was
right. That's what I meant. That's one that stood out to me.
Yeah. But if you compare it to one of his more recent ones, it's a lot better. It's like a night and day difference. So I think he's done pretty well in some of them, and he's bombed in other ones.
Got it. Yeah. Well, I hope you can help him out, or Coach, whatever his name is.
I mean, yeah, again, like he's not on my team, but I will help him out after the competition if he wants me to.
He says he wants to debate me on it. Jesus Christ. You just need to rewatch your videos. You'll see like how cringe it is, Greg. Just You just need to rewatch it. You'll see.
You guys do the debate, but it's not going to be on this stream because that's going to derail the whole thing.
I don't want to take off your time, but all I want to say is I've been enjoying the feud. I like the points on both sides. I think you're being very transparent in a lot of things, so good on that. Hopefully you don't get sued. That's all I have to say.
He's already been he's already hired a lawyer, and his lawyers have been berating my lawyer. So it seems like it's heading in that direction. I certainly would prefer that it didn't go in that direction. I've already spent $5,000 on lawyers, but he's like fucking, he's like a little bitch.
I know he's a bitch. He can dish it out, but he can't take it. That's another thing I agree with you on.
What do you think were some of the good points besides the fact that his girlfriend is hot? Or
that's like a huge one, right? In terms of what you can get with game, because his face is kind of low, but he's also 6'4", so you have to keep that in mind. That's
I think it's completely besides the point, because I never said that he has poor game. I've been very consistent in my position. I think that his game is solid. So I've never said oh, look at John, his game sucks, right? That was never once what I attacked him for. I attacked him for being a liar and a hypocrite, but certainly not for lack of game.
Right, but game is what people are looking to get better at. And if he has some of the best results, high lay counts, hot girlfriends, obviously those are a lot of things that support him. Don't you agree?
Well, again, I do think he has good game, for sure. There's no denying that. But again, that wasn't I didn't once criticize him on his lack of game. My thing, I was criticizing him for all the he's a guy who has good game. He's just a piece of shit in every other area of life. So that's the point I was trying to make. And again, I didn't even start this. He attacked me. All I did was defend myself. Or when he's telling lies about me and saying I don't have any testimonials, which can easily be disproved with just one search and stuff like that, is just just super cringe. Or he's saying things I ended things with Alex, when in reality he was begging me to bring our brands closer together. Or the fact that or where he takes the moral high ground, Alex collaborates with scammers. I would never collaborate with scammer. And then I show screenshots where he's literally trying to with all those same people. So those were always my criticism, was the hypocrisy and the lies. It was never his lack of game.
Yeah, I get it. But I feel like what people care about is how good they can get at game. So I think that's really the value in how good is he at game, how good are you at game, the experience, the lay count, the results in terms of the tier of women. So I think that's what's going in his favor, not your criticism against him.
Sure. I mean, if people after all the stuff I've revealed still want to be this is a guy I can look up to, then that's on them.
Because he leaked screenshots, and that's kind of a low blow. I mean, you have to admit that was kind of low. You didn't have to do that.
Well, no, first of all, he's done that countless times to other people in the past. And the reason I did that is because he was telling lies about me. I didn't want it to be he said, she said. If I didn't show the screenshots, it would have just been he said, she said. And then people wouldn't know the truth. Why would you believe me over him when we're both just giving? But if I can show objective proof that he's lying, then that's a whole different thing. So yeah, if he wanted me to avoid showing those screenshots, he shouldn't have started telling lies about me.
Okay.
That to me is a no-brainer, and he's also done that countless times. She doesn't have really a leg to stand on when it comes to.
Yeah, I don't think he's a saint, but I can see both sides. I think people just want to get better at game and getting pussy, so that's why they're kind of cutting him some slack, maybe. But
yeah, I mean, people can do whatever they want. I mean, I will say this: I'm done with the drama. I'm not going to be revealing anything else. But I'm part of some group chats, and there's going to be other people who are going to be coming forward next week or two. I think the stuff that we're going to reveal is going to be 1,000 times worse than anything I've revealed, because despite his claims of me playing in the mud, I've actually very much saved all the really bad stuff that's private. Had nothing to do. There's way worse shit that I didn't even touch, again, because that had nothing to do with the arguments at hand. But there's other people who are not going to be as nice. And
well, you have some sense of morals, right? Imagine if you had a falling out with another friend and they leaked a whole bunch of shit about you that you guys had in private convo, so it'd just be kind of messed up.
Well, John is more than welcome to leak anything I ever told him, because there's not one embarrassing thing I ever told him. I'm extremely transparent.
You were probably careful about it, huh? Because he was kind of a shady character.
I mean, no, not 3 years ago when we were no. I've kind of been in the last 6 to 12 months, potentially, but I live my life in a very transparent way, which is why there's never been really anything that anyone's been able to catch me on. All the shit that I think is embarrassing, I just choose not to do. But yeah, that's like we're fundamentally different in that sense. But anyway, cool, man. You have anything else?
That's all. Yeah, I don't want to keep talking about the drama, but that's all I have to say. Thanks for having me on.
All right, cool, bro. Have a good one.
Later.
All right, let's get Chris back on. Hello.
Yo. I was about to send it. Was it Playing with Fire at Gmail?
Playing with Fire channel at gmail.com.
Oh, channel, okay.
Yeah. Did you just send it?
1 sec. Okay, I just sent it.
Okay. What's your name, or what's it coming from? What am I looking for?
Yeah, it's my name, Chris.
It's Chris, okay. Playing with Fire channel at gmail.com. You send it to that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look. It's going to be from Chris, right?
Yeah, Chris minus JL.
Okay, there we go. I see it. Okay, cool. Let's go to screen. Guys, I don't want to. I feel like I'm in some way I brought this on myself. I just kind of wanted to help Chris, but I don't want to go through like a whole Tinder review thing. We just don't have time for it. I'm going to wrap up in like 20 minutes, but maybe I'll do a whole separate stream for that. Okay, let's take a look. That's your first photo. It's average. Your body language is a little poor, right? So you're kind of like, you basically what you want to do is you want to take up space. You're kind of doing the opposite. You're kind of like folding into yourself, right? So the photo is average. The body language is a bit poor. The background is cool. So I would say this is an average photo, mainly due to the body language. Okay. Let's see. This photo is decent, but it's got to be cropped way different. You're only like in 1/4 of this photo. So you got to crop half the space above your head and crop half the space behind your back. And then it's going to be a lot better. This photo is cropped. Okay, let's keep going. Yeah, this photo, like you can't really see your face. I mean, it's like a whatever, like a filler photo. Okay, this photo. Yeah, you can't really see that well. I would scrap this photo. Let's see what else. Okay, the cat photo I would get rid of. It looks kind of awkward. And then the last photo, you kind of look really sweaty in it, so I would get rid of that. Yeah, I don't like that last photo. So I would say your profile is average-ish. Now, where do you live?
Small city in Germany.
Okay, well that's definitely part of the issue as well. How big is your city?
It's only 10,000, but I used it in bigger cities, but kind of had mixed success.
Okay, well that kind of makes sense because your profile is like very average, right? So if you're saying you've been getting average results, that like kind of makes sense. I think there's definitely a lot of room for improvement.
I mean, it's not that I'm getting average results that I'm getting. It's that I'm getting very mixed results.
What does that mean?
Some days I'm getting like really hot girls, and then for a week it's like nothing.
Yeah, it's inconsistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean by average results.
Okay.
Like, inconsistent. But yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely massive amounts of room for improvement with your photos. I mean, I have so many videos on that. Like, check out some of my content, or you can go on my Instagram, for example. But yeah, I would say this is a average-ish profile. Right away, I will say you got to take out the last photo and the second to last photo. Just taking out those two photos will probably improve your profile by like 40%.
Okay, the last photos is what's doing best for me on Hinge, at least. So
yeah,
or actually the second to last.
Yeah, they might be clicking on it, but it doesn't mean that's like what's working well. I don't think that's a good look.
I mean, they're commenting on it.
What?
Most of my comments are from that photo.
Okay, yeah. I mean, again, I just disagree with that. You can take it out for a week and just see if that does better or worse. You can like just do an experiment. My speculation is that photo is hurting you more than it's helping you. But, you know, I've been wrong in the past. But, yeah, you can just do an experiment, take out the photo for a week and see what happens.
Okay, got it.
Cool. All right, cool, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Hopefully this helps. Yep. Take care, buddy. All right. Let's bring on this guy again. Maybe he's ready. Playing with Alex's balls. All right. Let's hear what you have to say.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your voice is very, very quiet. Can you speak up?
Can you hear me like more now?
Barely, dude. Are you like speaking in the microphone or?
I mean, I think. Oh, what about now?
It's getting like slightly better. Say something again.
What about now?
Okay. Let's make the best of it.
Can you hear me or now?
I can hear you. It's just like really quiet.
That's weird. Anyway, so.
Oh, now it's good. Okay. Whatever you just did, keep doing that. Okay, you're good.
I don't think I did anything.
Well, the audio is like really solid now. It just,
can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah. Now it's good. Yeah.
So, my question was, do you think so? So I speak Russian, right?
Okay.
Do you think, in your experience, it's ever been a bad thing when you meet a girl who also like speaks Russian? So, like, for example, it could help sometimes, but in my experience, it's like hit or miss. So sometimes it's like they like the familiarity, and other times it's like they almost they find it like the familiarity too much. You know what I mean?
I've never once had a situation where me speaking Russian has worked against me. So sometimes it just doesn't help you as much as it does in other situations. But I could not foresee any kind of circumstance where speaking the girl's native language is going to lose you points. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't mean like only speaking it. Like, I mean, in general, like sharing a culture in general.
Yeah.
Not like only the language speaking.
But. Yeah, I've never once had that work against me.
Okay, you've like never had that before?
No.
Interesting. Okay, because I've had that.
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe it seemed like you were self-conscious about it, or maybe the girl just used it as an excuse. But no, I can't imagine that.
I don't know about excuse, but I've just personally known a couple Russian girls who just prefer like other kinds of like men, like non-Russian men, like specifically.
Yeah, I guess we gotta disagree on that, but yeah, I could not at all imagine like that working against you in any way. It can only help, or it could be neutral, but it's not gonna hurt.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. You had any other questions?
Yeah. I had a random question about your completely off topic.
Okay.
But when you just had your Gmail up, right?
Yeah.
How do you get your emails to all go not in your inbox? Like how did you do that? Like that was crazy.
That was honestly, I don't know. It was my tech guy who set that up for me.
Oh shit. Okay.
So yeah, I honestly don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I have to look that up or something. That looked really useful. All right.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cool. All right, dude. Well, thanks for coming on.
All right, no problem.
All right, take care. All right, we'll do I guess like one or two more people. Yeah, just one more person maybe. Okay, let's bring Niles on. Hello.
Hey, you can hear me?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I wanted to ask you a question about like wheat waffle strategy, if that's cool.
Sure.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. He's talked a lot about physique and the role physique plays in attraction, and he like tends to underplay it, saying like if a guy is a 4 in the face, right, and he approaches a girl with and he has a nice physique, she'll underrate the physique and she'll just focus on the fact that he's a 4 in the face. And I disagree with that. What's your opinion?
Yeah, I disagree with that too.
Yeah. You think he just underrates it too much in general?
I think he overvalues face and undervalues body. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the best, like, what are the best like muscle groups or like exercises the guy should be doing to increase their attractiveness to women? Is it just overall?
Yeah, there's like a lot of like they've done like a lot of polls and studies on this, and it really varies based on the girl. But I think like okay, shoulders, back, chest, arms, legs. Like, I mean, obviously, I just named a whole bunch of them, and abs, like those, like if like you want to train all that stuff anyway, because you don't want to have like a massive imbalance of muscle. So just generally training like all the stuff you're supposed to train will kind of get you there, right? So I wouldn't be like focusing like on one muscle, because like if I can just get this muscle, girls will be attracted. It's like, like and also if like your shoulders are huge but your arms are small, like that's not gonna be attractive either, right? So it's like symmetry.
Yeah,
So
you want to have
I'll just
proportionality.
work on like maximizing all the big muscle groups.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. But yeah, was that the only question you had?
That was the main question. I also just wanted to like ask, like, I don't know, like I feel like in general from the community, and when you're talking to the community, it's easy to get a gauge for like the way guys think about things. But I think like especially with like Looks Pharrell when he was on earlier, I just think it's kind of rich. Like a lot of the people who have the most harsh criticisms of the speed dates are the people who don't show their camera, like they have no like, and their profile pictures of a male model. I just think it's really disingenuous. Like if someone wants to get on stream and criticize other people's speed date performances, at the very least they should show their face and put their face behind their words. And idealistically, they would be offering speed date themselves. But that's just my opinion. I want to know, like, what do you think about that?
I mean, I agree with it completely. I mean, there's a lot of ironic things about this whole community. Yeah, I mean, there's so much irony that you will see, and yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, cool, for sure, dude. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, everyone. All right, let's bring on one last person. Joshua, hello.
What's going on, Alex?
How's it going? I can barely hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now that's a lot better. Yep.
I just had a quick question for you. What do you think of, because I'm trying to be a minimalist. So what do you think of, driving beater cars and, not wearing like, the most trendy clothes, and just like, wearing clothes from like, for example, Old Navy and stuff like that? Does it, will it really affect my, I guess, my attractiveness to women? Will it just decrease it by so much that it's not worth it to become a minimalist?
Well, I mean, like, I think if you're driving a car that's like I don't, for example, me personally, I don't really wear fancy brands or have a fancy car. I drive a Mazda CX-5, but I think if your car is like a piece of shit from the 80s and your clothes are like super cheap, then yeah, that's going to work against you. But yeah, I personally don't really do like the designer brands or like the fancy cars or the flashy shit. But I would still get like, like go to Zara or something like that and get like shirts that like fit well and aren't like, like disgusting. I probably wouldn't have like a car that's a piece of shit. Not even for the girls, like that. You're going to spend more money on that because it's going to break down. You have to fix it. So I think it's just like getting like an average car, that's like modern. It's just going to be much better.
So you think being like finding like a common ground is the best way?
Yeah, I think like there's a reasonable middle ground. Yeah.
So you don't think like having like a nice car, nice clothes really helps you get women?
If you're going for sugar babies, potentially, yeah. But aside from that, no, I don't think so. I don't think like, yeah, like I in fact, usually I think find it kind of cringe when guys try to like peacock with like their cars. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make a massive difference unless you're going for sugar babies.
Oh, okay. I see what you. Can I ask you one last question?
Sure.
I don't know if this is if it's a good question, but what do you think are the most like attractive hobbies you can do that can attract women? Like for example, I think, what do you think of like dancing, being a good dancer, like playing the guitar well? You think that affects you a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I would personally not take up a hobby just for the girls, but like yeah, salsa and bachata, for example, it could be a really great way to meet girls. It's mostly chicks doing like yoga or something like that, or CrossFit. I don't know. Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of. I mean, basically, what you would do is a hobby that has a lot of girls are into. But yeah, I wouldn't just like take up a hobby just to like hopefully be more attractive to girls.
Because I'm really into like learning languages and kind of like nerdy hobbies. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, you can do like language exchange programs and stuff like that.
Language exchange programs, yeah, I do that a lot. But I do it mostly to learn languages, not for like to speak with women.
Well, yeah, I got you. But yeah, that was kind of my take on that. All right, cool. Was that it, bro?
Yeah, like I said, I appreciate the advice, and I like your videos, man. I'm gonna keep watching it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, have a good night, buddy.
All right, you too.
Take care. All right. All right, pretty good. I think we're gonna about wrap up in the 5 minutes. Yeah, let's just do. That was basically it. Hopefully, you guys got some value out of this. Answer a bunch of questions. But yeah, we're gonna be back with a speed dating stream either tomorrow or Monday at the latest. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take like a few more questions until we get to like 9 p.m. and then we're gonna bounce. Okay, what else do we have? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay. How do you handle rejection? Just let it roll off my shoulders. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. I mean, you can't take it personally. The girl's not rejecting you. She's rejecting her perception of you. And those may sound similar, but they're not. Can you do a text breakdown of subscribers? Yeah, I will. I will get back into doing those. The last few I didn't really perform that well, but I will do more of those. What am I doing tonight? I'm going to dinner with my mom and Nanny, and afterwards, I'm probably gonna do some work. Question: do you believe John Anthony's 1500 lake count? I do. I actually do believe it. Again, I can't verify it. I wasn't there for the vast majority of it, but I do. However, what I do not believe is that the 1500 lake count is with like stunners or 8s and 9s. I think, in my opinion, that quality can really run the gamut. But yeah, I do generally believe the 1500. A lot of those girls will probably not be girls that I would hook up with, but some of them are probably, are super hot, right? It's just like, it really runs the gamut from what I've seen. Will you collab with us and Dunham? Yeah, I would love to. We're kind of emailing back and forth, but he kind of disappeared. But I'll reach out to him again and try to make it happen. I think like probably my association with John was just like losing me so many potential collabs. So hopefully nowadays I get it. How do you get in line for speed day? Just join. You can't really like order ahead of time. Just join when we do the stream and just jump on early. Any collabs you want? Any players that you'd like to meet, learn from? Cheers, man. Yeah, I mean, there's so many collabs I would love. Like, I would love to do more plays, more dates. If we're really, really, dreaming, I would love to get Leonardo DiCaprio on for a podcast and ask him all about, all the girls he hooks up with, right? But that's like, we're kind of reaching. But yeah, like something like more plays, more dates. I think that would be epic. I'd love to get Adam 22 on. I'd love to get Abba from Abba and Preach. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers. I want to was trying to get Onich Pranks. He's like one of my favorite like comedians, but yeah, he didn't respond. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of people I would love to get on for sure. There's a lot of people that I haven't been able to collab with that I would love to collab with. How many lays did you stop caring about late count? 40, 50? At that point, I was just like, whatever. Do you think smoking lowers SMV? Yeah, potentially for quite a few girls. Yeah. As a positive, if you get in touch with John, let him know I have 0 counts, so I can be featured in his fantasy chart. Yeah, I haven't talked to him, but I'm sure he would do an exposed video on you. How can I focus my purpose in life at least for the next 6 months when I need to pass a test without losing my energy for going out? Well, I mean, you're going to have to study for 6 months. I mean, you can multitask. I would mostly focus on your test, but when you have some free time, because you can't be studying 24/7. Go out. Like instead of watching TV or scrolling through Instagram, go out and do cold approach. Would you consider altering your age? Maybe when I get to like 40, 41, but not at this point in time. Sorry about that. It just kicked me off for a second. Okay. Alex, how can I get you on my podcast? Just shoot me an email. I'm pretty easy to get in touch with. Post StreamYard link. Well, we're about to wrap up. Like, what did you want to discuss? Is it something really quick, or is it going to be? Well, let me know in the chat what you want to discuss. Why did you remove your sex toys video? The same reason I would remove any video. It just was really, really underperforming. If I have a video that's like really underperforming, I'll just like put it on private because I don't want to like, I want to keep like the value of my channel like higher to the stuff that people want to see. I thought it was a good video, but people didn't really, seem to want to watch it. Please tell us that you have not seen Private In because it would be hard if I still thought his game was good. His Private Infield. I've seen some of the infield in his product. It really runs the gamut. Some of it I thought was solid. Some of it was kind of meh. But yeah, I don't know what you mean by private. I just saw like some of the infield in his product a while ago. But it's all from like 2017 or 2015. I would totally be down, dude. I will 100%. He's more than welcome to come on my channel for a debate. I would love to debate him. He's never going to do it, but I would love to debate him. I would love to press him on all these issues, but yeah, he'll never do it. I would love to collaborate with both those people. Vitaly's ETV, someone whose content I watch for a really big period of time. I would love to get him on. I've actually reached out to him several times for collabs. Roman, I know of him. I don't watch it as much of his shit, but yeah, I would collab with him too. Best dating channels to watch. This one. Now, I mean, check out Austin Summers' channel. Check out Coach Kyle has some good shit. Vadim from Honest Signals. Yeah, those guys. As far as I understand, he's never done one. Okay, I think that's basically it. That's a good idea. I will do that. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Again, I want to do a value stream. We're going to get back to doing the value shit. So like I said, make sure you stay tuned. Tomorrow, we'll probably do the speed dating tomorrow, but if not, it will be a Monday. I'm just waiting on a few girls to confirm. I'm looking forward to that debate with that chick that was on. That should be fun. And then, yeah, we're going to do Destiny's coming on Monday, so this could be interesting to see him spit some game. But yeah, a lot of good shit ahead. I have a lot of really interesting video ideas. I asked you guys like what video content you want me to do, and you guys gave some good suggestions. So I'm gonna start making my way through that. I'm gonna film some infield the month of November, so I'll have some good shit on that. So yeah, guys, like I think we got a lot of good shit ahead. The drama stuff was really fun for a while. I'm not gonna deny that. I think some of you guys really enjoyed it, some of you not so much. I'm going to move off that. Now, of course, John is going to make like 20 more million videos about me, but I'm going to be done with it. If you guys have any questions as we go along, I'm happy to answer any questions. But yeah, I'm not going to like dedicate too much time on this because, frankly, that's kind of like feeding the troll. And I shall not feed the troll. All right, guys, appreciate y'all. Thank you, guys. Until next time.